Hi there, welcome to this reading on Donald Trump's health. Now there's been a lot of commentary on it, so we know that he lives on McDonald's and washes it down with gallons of Diet Coke. We know he doesn't exercise, so it appears that this is the sort of food for the nation, health of the nation. We've been wasting our time eating fresh food and exercising. We could all be like the McDonald's. So he went and had his fitness test and passed with flying colours. But I noticed there's been a lot of things on the web talking about how the doctor reached these particular calculations. And in case you missed it, Donald Trump has grown 1 inch since he was inaugurated as president. It's true. You heard it here. So at 6'2", with his weight, he would have been regarded as clinically obese. But fortunately, and somewhat miraculously, he has now become 6'3", which changes the threshold. So he's not. Do they really think we're this stupid? Yeah. And apparently his cognitive test went well. Well, we all know he's as sharp as a bowling ball. So what test did they give? You know, the mind boggles, But nonetheless, people are very concerned about his health, some because they might like him and want to see him live to be 105. But I think many people are watching because it is such an incredibly powerful position that if he is unwell, either physically or mentally, that impacts on the nation and the world. Right. So, somewhat reluctantly, I am going to do this reading on Donald Trump's health. I'm just going to do a short card reading. So, Trump's health. In a way, I think the question should be, will Trump's health impact the presidency? 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 All right. Here we go. His main card, the Page of Swords. Just a quick mention here. He is a Gemini, and one of the advantages for Geminis is they're often very youthful and they retain that youthfulness into their old age. So I would just like to make that qualification because I see that very much in this card. So representing him, his astrological sign, Gemini, is reflecting that certain youthfulness of character. Oh, I just noticed my thingy's hanging out. Sorry about that. Okay, now the thing with the Page of Swords also is it can also be immaturity. And that would make perfect sense. Despite being 71, he's extremely immature in himself and he just rages around, sword in the air. So if it was a bigger reading and a more general reading, I would see this as a younger person than Trump. But it's exclusively a reading about him, so I think this is the more youthful Trump. Okay. The world is in fact watching. We're all invested in this man's health. Ta-da! The Lover's card. I think this is indicating that his various affairs, and they're coming out hourly. So apart from Hope Hicks, there's also the very tasteful story about Stormy Daniels, which raises a further question of Melania, why are you there? Okay, so the Lover's card in this context of his health, I think, again keeps him feeling young. However, we now come to the Six of Swords. So the swords representing the intellect and ideas, but also adversity. And you'd have to say with this particular card, there is some degree of adversity. We're asking about health, and it could be interpreted as having to move away because of these adverse conditions around his health, but that's far from conclusive. Oh, this is slightly more compelling, the Devil card. So if you think about how often this turns up, the Devil card in Trump's very short reading, I think would indicate there is an impact of health. If you look at, in this context, the Devil being ill health, or in his case, mental health, there is the Devil card. So he has a youthful aspect, the world is watching, his affairs are keeping him young, but this is short-term outcome, a bit more adversity, which I would also say in relation to the swords, the piercing of the heart, that you'd have to say a 71-year-old with his diet and sedentary lifestyle, he must have blocked arteries. I'd be very surprised if he wasn't diabetic, and so forth. So this would indicate further adversity in regards to his health and the presidency. I'll just draw one more here. Yes, the Hermit. And he might well withdraw because of that. Either a physical health decline or a radical mental health catastrophe in his own little pigeon brain that will lead him to withdraw. So there are other readers who I'm sure will have opinions on this, but because so many people had asked, I agreed to do it. And so now, there you have it from my perspective, and we're going to move on to other things. Very quick. Bye.